Yo, what's up guys, it's Lun-Gi. So today we'll be taking a look at a Maliss deck profile. So the deck came out over the weekend on Saturday in the OCG, and it has started topping in some places. I was working this weekend, so I couldn't actually test the deck out, and on Monday there was like some issue with my neuron, so I couldn't actually get it working in time for the tournament. So I missed the tournament on Monday, but hopefully I'll be able to test it out this weekend as well as with Rise-Y'all. But anyways, so we're gonna take a look at the deck profile first. So for the monster lineup, Triple Dorm House. It's one of your starters. Pretty standard to play 3 copies of it, 3 copies of White Rabbit, your other starter. Basically the end boards are like essentially the same using Dorm House or starting with White Rabbit. Just the way you go about it is just like slightly different. And then only 1 copy of Cheshire Cat. In the OCG you have to play a bunch of other cards. You have to really go like hand trap heavy because there's Maxi, there's the Mulcharmies, so you don't really have room to be playing like 3 copies. So just like 1 copy, and then 1 copy of Math Mix Sigma, Dotscaper. You have to play at least 1 Dotscaper in this deck. I've tried without Dotscaper, even though drawing it is kind of sucks if you have to use your normal summon on your engine. Because then you have to summon it at your hand with like Firewall or something. So drawing it does kind of suck, but it is combo by itself, so there's that. But yeah, I've tried the deck without Dotscaper. It's just kind of awkward when you're trying to link climb, because you'll use your effects, these effects pretty early to summon them back, and then you need an extra card that you can banish just for like an extender. Otherwise, like, you can miss OTKs or you could end up like making suboptimal field. Yeah, and then Sigma is also for the combo that I'll be showing you. So it's a plus 13 combo, really crazy, just using 1 card plus 13 combo. And then the Bystials, 1 Magnamut, and then one Drew Swarm. Again, this is just mainly due to spatial constraints. Otherwise, I think playing 3 should be the standard, playing 3 of them, because you're not really going to be searching them, so you have to hard draw. So I think 3 would be preferable, but I wanted to make a 40 card deck, so just only playing like these 2. And then for the hand traps, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Fuaros. It's basically a staple now. You know, people have been like even cutting like impermanence in their decks just to be able to fit in like 3 copies of Fuaros, because I guess against like a deck that uses the extra deck, it's better to draw than impermanence, because if they don't stop summoning, you just keep drawing cards, and at that point you can just like play through their board a lot more easily. And if they do stop, then they don't actually have any threats for you to imperm. So some people, you know, have been opting to just play this card over infinite impermanence. 3 copies of Maxi, and that is it for the monster hand traps. And then for the spell cards, we've got 1 gold sock. It's standard. Would play 3 if it's at 3. 3 copies of the field spell, also standard. It's a starter. Kind of worse than the monsters, but still something. And then 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. So this is a nice collector's rare, OCG collector's rare, if you haven't seen these before. So 3 copies of Allure in this version. Even though you're only playing like 7 of these as like the targets, I'm playing the Searcher, Cyanide Mining. Right, so playing 3 copies of Cyanide Mining, not maining Shifter, because I think that Shifter's kind of bad for the deck, and going first, it doesn't really help you at all. It actually just like, you kind of cuck yourself when you Shifter like going first, because then you have to make like something suboptimal. And if your opponent's playing the same deck, or if they're playing like Rise-Y'all, then they don't actually care that you activated Shifter. So I think for this format, like, Shifter's kind of bad in the main list, because it's just all the new decks, they don't care about Shifter, you know. So if you play any of them, which they're actually quite popular in the OC, then like Shifter, like, it doesn't do anything. You just wasted a card. 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Crossout, 1 Talents. These are kind of standard to have, well, at least for me. And then 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. I still like having the Impermanence, especially just to shut off Detonator. Just activate this, negate the Detonator, then basically playing for free against Rise-Y'all. And then the themed trap cards, 1 GWC06, 1 TB11, and then 1 MTP07. If you do max out on the monsters, I guess you could play more copies of the trap cards. Playing more copies of this one, especially since it's basically the best one. It gets you an extra monster on board. So playing more copies of this, you could try that as well. Yeah. But this is like pretty standard. I know people are not playing this one, so it's kind of like semi-standard. And also people are not playing Allure of Darkness. I don't know, they're playing something else in place of Allure of Darkness. But I really like it, especially like with like Dotscaper. But with the Dotscaper, at least I know that I won't have to summon it straight from my hand with like Firewall, so I can just, yeah, I can just use like Allure of Darkness to try and dig for these. If I don't, then I hit this and it summons itself back. At least I didn't waste a normal summon on it. Or I can just like go full combo, I guess. But yeah, having Allure of Darkness to just dig for your cards, dig for your hand traps, dig for your engine, I think is very necessary to do. In the OCG, you're choosing not to play Allure of Darkness. This deck doesn't care about Droll and Lockbird, so it's like, okay, so activate Allure, draw 2, you know, banish one of my girls, they activate Droll and Lockbird. Okay, we're still gonna do combo, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's a 40 card main deck. So now let's take a look at the extra deck. Alright, now for the extra deck, 1 copy of Link Decoder. Price went up in the OCG. Was like $5 for the sets, and now it's like $20. 1 copy of Lun-Gi-Oh. Lun-Gi-Oh, very good into decks like Labyrinth. Very good into Labyrinth. It's also good to play around impermanence if you don't open your trap cards, but you do open the Bysteel. You can normal summon, for example, normal summon Dorm House, link it away into Lun-Gi-Oh, and then you can activate your Bysteel, right? Activate your Bysteel. Target, banish, summon it, and then trigger, and then summon it back. So now if you have Imperm, you can just negate the Imperm with Lun-Gi-Oh, and then you can still combo, and you've got an extra monster here. I guess the only downside is that you can't use Transcode Talker, but you can still combo even if you can't use Transcode Talker's effect. So not a big deal. Alright, and then 1 Crystal Heart to revive Transcode Talker in the combos. 1 Cyberus Wicked. He searches for a Cyberus Tuner and also banishes a monster in the graveyard. He's part of your opening combo, a very important guy, and he cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, I believe, and anything he points to cannot be destroyed by card effects. So if you find yourself playing against Tenpai, you could just summon this guy and then summon like a Firewall or whatever monster you want to protect under him. Then all the Raigekis in the world are not gonna do anything. So that'll allow you to easily just like play into Tenpai. They have to basically hard draw droplets, which people aren't playing now because it's bad, because you got so many decks that can just like main deck shifter. So that makes like droplet really bad because you can't activate it under shifter. So people aren't playing droplet anymore. Some have dropped Imperm, as I said before, as well. So usually your effect monsters will not get negated. So he'll probably stick against, you know, Tenpai. Splash Mage. Some people play more than one. I don't think it's necessary. If you play the deck properly, you won't need the second copy. 1 copy of I don't know, one of the Link to Code Talkers. Forgot his name, but he's also necessary in the combo to get your Cyberus monsters out of your hand. And then one of your main playmakers, Transcode Talker. Very important. And then Protect Code Talker. Some people are not playing this card for whatever reason, but he banishes your links from the graveyard as a quick effect, which allows you to trigger them whenever you want during your opponent's turn, as long as you control a Firewall monster. So we play 2 Firewall monsters. So yeah, he's very important, and it prevents your Link 4 higher monsters from being targeted or destroyed in battle, which does come up, especially the protection from targeting. And then your Maliss Link monsters. 1 white binder, 1 red ransom, and then 1 cryptor. So this is all you need. But if you're playing in the TCG where people are playing like the unicorn Mimighoul deck or whatever, they're playing unicorn to snipe your monsters. Probably necessary to play more than 1 copy each, and then in that case then you have to play like a different variant, because you need every single like extra deck slot. But 3 is fine. You can actually recycle your links with Cryptor. You'll mostly be recycling, you know, binder. You can banish binder for cost, and then you can use Cryptor to put it back, and then banish something, and then you can summon it back again. So you can just like recycle just the 1, which is fine. You probably kill your opponents before that. So yeah, I don't think you need more than one copy each. Hasn't really come up. And then Firewall Dragon, the OG, still broken, especially in the OCG. If you have Maxi or like Effect Veil in your hand, so you activate Maxi, If they try to Call by the Grave, you just chain Firewall and add it back to your hand. So you can actually dodge Call by the Grave. And then also like something like Effect Veiler, it allows you to get like 2 negates if you don't think a bounce. If you don't think a bounce will be helpful, you just want to negate, you can just go Veiler and then you can add it back again, then you can Veiler again. With like Ash Blossom, if you have to use Ash Blossom on Maxi on your turn, then you can use Firewall Dragon's effect to add it back to your hand during your opponent's turn or during that same turn if you really want to. So you can just like reuse your hand traps. Still broken even with the Errata. Not as broken obviously, but still incredibly good. And then his other effect to summon from hand is only Cyberse, yeah, which does actually matter quite a bit, but everything in here is pretty much Cyberse, so not that big of a deal. And then you have the last cards. All right, so we've got the Firewall, Dark something, Dark Seed, Dark Fluid. So this is your main end board. So with this end board, you end on him, and then you'll have Crypta in the graveyard, and you'll have this in the graveyard, and these two. So you'll use his effect, banish, to banish Binder. Binder will come back, draw a card, and then you banish these two, and then they'll both come back. So that's how you actually get like more disruptions. So yeah, he's your inboard, and then his targets. I like this one, Myriological something. I like him over the level 8. I forgot its name. Level 8 Synchro. That allows you to basically put a monster in the spell and trap zone if it's sent to the graveyard. I like it better because you can negate spells and traps. So against Runic, you could just negate the fuel spell. You can negate the Runic fuel spell. Then you can negate like something else with this one, because this negates spells and trap cards if you have a link 4 or higher monster on the field. Yeah, I like him being able to target especially floodgates, because people have been playing floodgates more in the OCG. So yeah, so I like him over Packbit, the level 8 Cyberse Synchro. So that is it for the main deck. So I'll show the side deck quickly. In the side deck, we've got Masquerena, and we've got SP Little Knight, and we've got Access Code Talker. If you side in Shifter, then you can just go Masquerena combo, Masquerena into like SP Little Knight. With your Maliss link monsters, it's the best play you can do under Shifter, in my opinion. So siding these, because you'll take out the Firewall engine if you're siding in Shifter, or if your opponent is playing Shifter, because you're not gonna go for that play, under Shifter, because everything you send to the graveyard will just get banished, so you won't get any bonuses off of that. You would just go for like a regular like Firewall play. Was playing Appaloosa, but just opted for a more like Cyberse version of the deck. But that is also a very nice option, Appaloosa. And Access Code Talker, if you go first, you've got so much damage on board, you won't need to summon Access Code Talker. So it's only good if you're going second and you just want to like combo and then OTK. It's better in that regard. So it's in the side deck. If you want to take out something in the main deck, I think it's fine. But for now, just keeping it in the side deck just as a going second option. Also, if you have Shifter, then it's not that great. It can help you like out something like Skill Drain, if your opponent has Skill Drain. But in the OCG, it's limited. In the TCG, I'd probably just keep him in the main deck just to get rid of Skill Drain, because TCG has like 3 Skill Drains. But yeah, just siding it for OTKs here. 3 copies of Lancia for the mirror match. I don't know, I haven't seen people testing out Lancia, which is so weird, because your opponent can't combo if you Lancia, and since this card says cannot, it takes precedence over something like Shifter. So if Shifter is active and you just activate this, then nothing gets banned anymore. Yeah, it's very good in the mirror match, just siding like 3 of these, and then it's very hard for them to do anything full. 2 copies of Shifter, just playing against Snake Eyes on a graveyard reliant deck. Very good. 1 Twin Twisters, Heavy Storm, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Yeah, people are playing a lot of floodgates, so I'd even side these against like non-stun decks, because they all side in floodgates because they want to play around like Fuaros. Yeah, they'll side in like traps and stuff like that. So game 2 and 3, they go less like hand trap heavy, and just go like really solid, hard-hitting trap cards like floodgates and solemns post side. So you need these, and of course Red Reboot. And then the last cards in the side deck, just 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier. Very good against Centurion, very good against Tenpai, very solid against Branded. It's good against so many decks. People are not playing it for some some reason. I don't understand the decisions of like OCG players sometimes. But yeah, having this against Tempai, they just have to like end their turn. They're not gonna manage with the, you know, the princess like OTK and stuff like that, because there's just too much disruption. So they're not gonna be able to pull that one off. So yeah, D barrier against D barrier decks, and that is the side deck. You don't really need much else. The deck is very strong, you know, on its own. You don't really need like trap cards, and you don't need like floodgates. You don't need to be playing floodgates to beat your opponent. You just combo and then you win like that. And then you can even play under like Maxi. Just make like a simple play under Maxi, and then you have your hand traps as well. So yeah, you don't need floodgates to beat your opponent. So you normal summon Dual Mouse, and then use its ignition effect to banish White Rabbit. White Rabbit's effect will trigger to summon itself back from banishment. Then its on-field effect will trigger. You can set your TB11. You activate TB11, pay cost, banishing Dormouse, and then you'll summon Cheshire Cat from the main deck. You can't activate its effects because of this. Dormouse will trigger. You pay 300 again, and then you summon it back. So you've paid 600. Now you can link away pretty much any of them into Link Decoder. Then you use 3. You use 3, and then you will summon your Red Ransom. So we'll summon Red Ransom. So we want to go Ransom first, Coda second for Ash. So then we'll add our field spell. So we'll add our field spell. So next we will link them away, banish Coda, link them away into Splash Mage. So we make Splash Mage, and then we use Splash Mage's effect. So we want to target Cheshire Cat in case they have something like a Bestial, because if you target something that's been used already, then they can basically stop or halt your play. So we're gonna target Cheshire Cat. If they banish it, you can just summon it anyways. So we summon him back. And then we turn them into Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker's effect will just revive Splash Mage. Then we'll use the field spell. So we'll activate the field spell, we'll banish Cheshire Cat, it will trigger to summon itself back. Then we'll summon it back, and then we will use the two of them to summon your White Binder. So White Binder will trigger, and then we will banish Trap Card, and we'll banish Red Ransom. We want to banish the Trap Card because on our turn we want to have as many of them banished as possible, because once we have 3, we'll be able to pump up our links by 3000 attack, making it very easy to OTK. So Ransom. So we'll summon it here. Oh, we actually need to summon this side. Banish Dotscaper. Dotscaper's effect, special summon it back. So next you'll link away Transcode Talker and Red Ransom into Crystal Heart. Crystal Heart. Then we'll summon back Transcode Talker. We'll use White Binder's effect, and we will set our GWC 06. So then we activate GWC, we banish White Binder, and then we will summon our Red Ransom on this side. And then we gain 2300 life points, so trigger White Binder, shuffle White Binder, summon back, and then we will draw. We'll draw a card. Next up, we want to go into Firewall Dragon. So next up, we'll use Firewall Dragon's effect, and we will add back 3 monsters. Next up, we will use these 3. So use these 3 to make our Queen Hearts of Crypta. So we'll make Queen Hearts of Crypta, and then we'll trigger Firewall's effect to special summon Cheshire Cat from the hand. So we'll use Cheshire Cat's effect. We'll banish White Rabbits because Dual Mouse is better for follow-up. So banish White Rabbit, and then we will draw 2 cards. Drawing 2 cards. Next, we want to use Firewall Dragon and Hearts of Crypta to make Cyber's Wicked. Cyber's Wicked. Then we'll link away Cheshire Cat into basically any link 1. So Ringaribo. Then we'll trigger Cyber's Wicked. We'll banish Hearts of Crypta, and then we will add Sigma. We'll add Sigma to our hand, and then we'll trigger Hearts of Crypta to special summon it from banishment by paying 900. So next up, we'll use the 2 of them to make Code Talker Inverted, trigger his effect, summon Sigma. Then we'll use Sigma and Wicked to go into Protect Code Talker. Then we will summon Sigma back from the graveyard. So now you can make a link 5, banish Sigma and use these 2. Then we'll make Firewall Dragon, use its effect, send the fusion Cyberus to the graveyard. Alright, so then you can end your turn. Now at this point, you only have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 cards, so you've only gone plus 5, but you're gonna go plus 7 on your opponent's turn. So yeah, so it's your opponent's turn. You've got, so far you've got two disruptions, and then any hand traps that you drew. So you've got this for negates. You've got his effect that can send your last card in the extra deck, this one, Aggregator, to negate something that's face up. So far you do have two disruptions. So at some point on your opponent's turn, you will activate this effect. So banishment is actually cost, which is nice. So you'll banish White Binder, and then we will summon this back. If you want to chain block, Ash, then you could also chain it to this, sending this. So you activate this chaining 1, him chaining 2, send this to the graveyard. Then on the next chain, you can make Binder chaining 1, and then this chaining 2, just in case they have like an Ash Blossom to negate Binder. So you could do that to chain block. Alright, so we can summon this here. Alright, trigger Binder, special summon, and then draw a card. And then next chain, Binder's effect. So you want to banish these two, and then the third card can be a card in your opponent's graveyard if they have something important. Otherwise, you can just banish the trap card. So we will make this chaining 1, chaining 2. If they stop this, it's fine because this is a disruption. All right. So summon back, summon this back, summon this back, and this banishes as well. So you want to banish White Rabbit from the deck. So on your next chain, you will trigger chaining 1, 2, or 1, 2, depending. So let's make it 1 and 2 because you don't care if they stop this and you can't search another copy of the field spell. This is more important. So we'll make this chaining 1, chaining 2. So chaining 2 will add, since we drew one of the combo, we'll just add the last field spell, I guess. And then we will summon back the White Rabbit. So White Rabbit's effect, you will set your last trap card, MTP07, which is the searcher/banish. Search/banish. Alright, so we've got tons and tons of advantage. Alright, so we've got an extra disruption here, extra disruption here. If you didn't choose to use this, we still have access to this. And then we have whatever hand traps we drew and the cards we added back to the hand. We only drew Maxi in this case, which is really good, I guess. Right, so in total, 14 cards from your one card. So you went plus 13. And when you activate this card, if you want follow-up, so instead of banishing White Rabbit, which is the usual thing to do, you can activate MTP, and then you can banish White Binder, and then you can search and then banish a card without targeting. And then when you activate Crypto's effect, you can just recycle the White Binder, so you can put it in the extra deck. So when you go for follow-up, you can just summon back the White Binder and then banish these from the graveyard if they happen to be in the graveyard. And then on top of that, you can banish this, and then you'll have 3 banished. So yeah, also another thing to note, this is at 5k because you summoned it back from banishment. So this is at 5k, so they have to attack one of your Maliss Ling monsters. They could just attack the other ones, which is fine, I guess. But yeah, so you can just recycle this, and when you search, you could just search for another copy of Dormouse. Alright, just search for another Dormouse. So good. And yeah, that is the one card combo. I think it's the strongest one card combo that I've seen out of this deck, because usually with just one card they end on like this one, and on the firewall. Some of them don't even have this in the graveyard, which is kind of goofy in my opinion, because then you can't actually get back your monsters, or they opt to like go for this. Yeah, go for this, and then they have like Masquerena or something, so they can go into some other Ling monsters during the opponent's turn, which is okay, I guess. But yeah, this is the strongest one card combo that I've seen out of the deck. How to combo with White Rabbit: normal summon, TV11, activate, banish, switch to summon, Dormouse from the deck, pay 300, summon back, and then you will link away into Splash Mage, target Dormouse, summon it back. Then you'll link them away into your Red Ransom effect, get the field spell effect, banish Dormouse from the graveyard, trigger its effect, pay 300, summon back, effect, banish Cheshire Cat from the deck, pay 300, summon it back. Then you use these two to make Cyberus Wicked, you use this to make Link Decoder. Then you trigger your Cyberus Wicked to banish Ransom from the graveyard, and then you will add your Math Mix Sigma from the deck. Next, you'll trigger Red Ransom, summon it back, and then banish your Dotscaper from the deck. Trigger Dotscaper, summons itself back. Next, you want to go into transcode talker. You will trigger this effect, so you will summon it back. Next, transcode talker's effect. You can revive this, and then you can turn these two into White Binder. White Binder's effect. Banish the trap card. Next, you use Binder's effect to set GWCO6. You link these two away into Crystal Heart. Activate GWO6. Banish this. Summon back your Red Ransom. Trigger her effect. Summon her back, and then draw a card. Draw a card. Crystal Heart's effect, revive transcode talker, link them away into Firewall Dragon, Firewall's effect, get back 3, 1, 2, 3, get back 3. Alright, we'll link these 3 into Hearts of Crypta. Alright, we'll trigger Firewall's effect, then we'll special summon Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat, banish, draw 2, 1, 2. Alright, next we'll link these 2 into this. Right, inverted code talker, summon Sigma from the hand. Sigma inverted. We'll go into protect code talker, and then you will use Sigma in the graveyard, summon itself back, and then you use the 3 of them to make your firewall. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in total, plus 5. And again, we will go plus 7 on the opponent's turn. So a bit of a different route, but essentially the same outcome. Yeah, the same outcome, but you do save a Lun-Gi-Oh in this version of the combo. So you could go this route also with Dormouse, something similar with Dormouse, going for an early Cyber's Wicked, because then you could just use your Link Decoder to summon under Wicked to trigger its effect. But yeah, doesn't really matter too much. So you just do the same thing on your opponent's turn, summoning back all your monsters. Summoning back all your monsters, and let's not forget this one. Alright, so essentially the same combo, going plus 13. Alright, so this one is plus 12 instead, which is alright. Alright, so this is how you OTK under Shifter. Normal summon Dormouse, banish Rabbit, Rabbit summons itself back, set TV 11, banish Dormouse, summon your Cheshire Cat, trigger Dormouse, summon back. This is banished because of Shifter, and then you just go into your Hearts of Crypta. You'll trigger Cheshire Cat because you haven't summoned it back yet. Summon back Cheshire Cat. Since you use Dormouse's effect, this is on 2-1 and this is on 3-1. So battle phase 2-1, 3-1. So that is 5-2. Crypta's effect, shuffle back something, banish itself, summon back, and then we will attack for game. So it'll come back at 6-2. So 11-4. Yeah, so 11-4 damage. So if your opponent has one defense position monster with at least lower than 2100 defense, you can OTK your opponent. If your opponent has one monster face up, as long as it has lower than 3,500 attack, so 3-4 or lower. Or actually, it has to have lower attack than Crypta, so you can actually attack over it in the first place. So if it has like 3,000 or lower attack, you can OTK your opponent. Or if they have like 2 monsters, if the combined attack is lower than 3,500, you can OTK. So let's say they have something that has like I don't know, 2,500, and then a monster that has like 900, 2,500 and 900. Attack over the 2,500, attack over the 900. Crypta banish, summon itself back at 6-2. Attack for 6 for game. So this is 21. So this will be 16 over the 500, and then this will be 600. 16 plus 600 is 2-2. So yeah, so the 6-2 is more than enough to OTK. But if you have like a board wipe or something, then you can just shift it and board wipe them, and then you can OTK easily. OTK does not play under Nibiru because you summon like 6 times. Yeah, you summon like 6 times, so it does not play around Nibiru. If it's an open field, then you don't have to summon this back, but it's still like 5 summons. It's still 5 summons, but this will come back. This will come back anyways. So this will come back, and then you'll still be able to punch for like 6-2. Yeah, you'll still be able to punch for 6-2 in that case. So now we'll take a look at post side, how to play under your own Shifter or your opponent's Shifter, I guess. So Shifter is active normal summon. You want to link away, and then it gets banished, and then you summon it back. So now if your opponent has Imperm, you can just negate it. So activate Dormouse, and then you banish White Rabbit, trigger its effect, summon it back, trigger its effect, and then you will set MTP07. You've got 2 options here. Well, you've got a number of options. So you could just go for your Link 3. You could go for your Link 3, Red Ransom. Fetch the field spell card. Next, you can activate the field spell card and banish Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat's effect will summon itself back. Right, could activate MTP07, banish, and then can add another dual mouse. Let's get banished, and then Red Ransom, summon itself, and will banish Dotscaper, which will summon itself back as well. Then you can activate Cheshire Cat's effect. You can banish and then draw two cards and go for Masquerena. Now this version of the play is better if you play more copies of MTP07, because on your opponent's turn you're going to banish Red Ransom, and then you can just set another copy after you banish your White Rabbit. So if you play 2 copies of this card, then this play is also very good. So you could main deck 2 copies or side in a second copy. I don't have 2 copies, but let's imagine that I do. So on your opponent's turn, you go Masquerena, and then you'll banish these. You'll summon Little Knights, and then so chaining 1, chaining 2, banish something. So summon her back, and then you get to banish White Rabbit. Banish White Rabbit on the next chain, and banish something. On the next chain, it will be Rabbit, then Ransom. Ransom will add Underground, and then Rabbit will summon itself back to trigger Rabbit on the field, and then you will search for, right, you'll set MTP07. Yeah, right, so you'll set MTP07. Alright, so this is good if you play more than 1 copy, because now you still have your banish off of SP Little Knights. They can't attack over it because of Red Ransom. So you have your banish of Little Knights, and then you have MTP to search for follow-up, and also banish your card without targeting, and then there's still under shifter. So yeah, so that's a very strong play, and they can't destroy this with card effects. So something like 10 pi, you know, 10 pi, they can't use their Regekis to get rid of this card, which is quite nice. So you dodge the first Regeki with Masquerena, and then second one, I guess they could try to destroy this, but then this stays in the field, so you can still disrupt them. So yeah, that is one of your options if you're playing under your own shifter. So option 2 under shifter. So this plays around Nibiru as well, if you don't want to get hit with Nibiru. So on summon of White Rabbit, you can just set MTP07, and then you can just do this and then summon your Hearts of Crypta. Alright, so you can just do this and summon your Hearts of Crypta. Yeah, so you got two disruptions under shifter. Alright, so last thoughts on the deck. So I think the deck is very strong. I guess one of the issues with the deck would be consistency, because you've got your starters, right? You do have your starters, right? You do have your starters, but sometimes it's kind of not enough. So you will break sometimes. So yeah, they're 100% playing this card in the Sunday Mining, but they're playing it with shifter, which is just kind of quid. But yeah, you've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 starters, which is okay, but I prefer having like 16 to 18 like starters / extenders, which is why I'm main decking triple Allure of Darkness. Main decking triple Allure of Darkness. Another card that's good to mention is Parallel Exceed. Parallel Exceed is good for playing around Nibiru, but you need to have Link Spider in your extra deck. So yeah, if you sacrifice any of the extra deck slots, this is basically the only one you can really like sacrifice. So you have to play Link Spider if you play Parallel Exceed. Otherwise, if your opponent like nibs you, then you can't link into anything to summon the Parallel out of your hand. So yeah, just keep that in mind as well. So yeah, the Allure of Darknesses really help the deck out a lot. Does struggle a little bit with consistency, but if you max out on these no terraforming, because this is not that great as a starter, honestly. I'd rather just have like something else. I would play Small World before I play terraforming. Yeah, so you'll see me playing Small World before I play terraforming to search for this card. That's it for the deck profile. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, which should be Rise Y'all. All right, peace.